This is not Portland, this is not Los Angeles, this is happening in Chicago. Within just a few days of protesters saying, we're not gonna stop coming to this building and protest Homeland Security, we are already seeing clashes between federal agents and protesters.
An ICE officer was dragged by a car, leading to a shooting. What's the latest on that?
So that occurred near Chicago, and protesters, advocacy groups, they want to see the evidence. They're not believing what ICE has to say about the entire event. So we have a lot to cover in this video. Unfortunately for Chicago, it's starting to look a little more like Portland and LA, where protesters and federal agents have no issues clashing almost every single day. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like this video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well. It's a massive help. Let's dig into it.
So we feel like Broadview residents should know that they have the power to say this is not welcome in their community.
The pre-dawn protest is part of the latest effort by immigration rights advocates to disrupt operations of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Okay, so I just wanted to get that out of the way for the new viewers. This is not me just saying protesters and federal agents are clashing. No, directly from the protesters, the advocacy groups, they are here to disrupt operations. You just heard that from the media. So that is what we have going on here. This is not speculation.
Oh.
Okay, so just a few days ago on my channel, I had said one of the biggest issues we're probably going to see at this building is how tiny the driveways are, because there is no room to give a warning. There's no way to back anyone up. Once you stand on that driveway, you are on federal property, and that gives the jurisdiction and the right to the federal agents to do whatever it takes to get you off the property, especially if they know you are here to disrupt operations, because guess what? They watch the videos, they watch the news reports, so obviously there's going to be more of a risk for clashes, and that's what we are already seeing here because of these tiny driveways, unlike in Los Angeles and Portland. Now again, as somebody who covers these clashes in all areas of the country, something else that really sticks out to me, unlike federal agents in Portland and Los Angeles, these agents seem to be at a larger disadvantage. Again, because of the tiny driveways, but also you'll notice they're not going into the street. I think there might be a little confusion as far as how far can these federal agents go and what these protesters are willing to do or not do in order for these federal agents to leave their jurisdiction. I'll give you a prime example. These are agents in Portland. Look how long their driveway is, so they have the chance to tell people to back up, I'm gonna give you a warning, get away. That is massive. Within the 50 feet that they have, that could already de-escalate everyone. But you'll notice, even with the length of the driveway, they are still willing to go out into the street and push people back. In Chicago, it looks like the agents are not intimidated, but I think they're being heavily cautious since we're in the beginning stages of protesters who are showing up every single day and willing to get in the way. But check out this clip.
Grabbers. They got grabbers. They got grabbers. 1510. 151.
You'll notice at this point they are already in the street.
Hey! There's my least favorite hooker! What's up, sweetheart? Hey, where's my money? Where's my money?
and they have way more room to work with. Again, these federal agents in Portland, they've been dealing with this every single night for 4 months in a row now, so they have really developed their tactics. They know who all of the protesters are. Over in Chicago, I think, again, we are in these beginning stages and really learning how to adapt to the situation. And I do want to leave a very quick disclaimer. When I'm talking about protesters and federal agents clashing, I'm talking about the protesters who cross the line and break the law, not the lawful protesters. Now, this might be the first time we've ever seen anything like this on my channel. This is a Senate candidate who is filming what he's doing at this protest. Interesting approach, but let's go ahead and watch this because I'm sure you've never seen this either.
Life of a U.S. Senate candidate. Woke up at about 4:30 in the morning. Drove about 2.5 hours. Pushed ICE back into their lair. Checked out the local art scene. Break for a quick jam sesh. Pushed ICE back into their lair.
I'm just being honest here. I would be a little worried if anyone from Homeland saw this. Again, if this is an indication that you are here on purpose to disrupt operations and then you do get put into office, I think you might get in some trouble. But yeah, let's just go ahead and continue.
Break for a quick jam sesh.
Now, I just want to point out, everything that's happening right here is 100% completely legal. And if you like it or not, don't get mad at me. That's the law. They're allowed to be loud. They're allowed to shout at the building. But when we start to get into that gray area is the intent of pushing back ICE, disruption, getting in that driveway. 10 times out of 10, almost every single time we see a clash, it has to do with blocking driveways or impeding, interfering.
Heckle the fascists?
So again, I mean, we have somebody here who's admitting to verbally assaulting or heckling.
Why are you wearing masks? Are you scared? Are you scared?
Get caught balding in 4K.
This morning into the afternoon. At one point, you can see officers
Get yelled at by Alexa.
Hereby declared that you are obstructing and impeding federal law enforcement officers. The performance.
And just so you guys know, like all these people right here are on federal property. Now, I don't think the agents here want to arrest people for these petty crimes. It's a pain in the butt for everyone. It's a bad look. And as Americans, federal agents understand, look, you are allowed to protest. But over in Portland, if you do this because it's so bad over there, and Los Angeles, if you cross the line, if you even like touch the federal property, you will be detained and arrested. That's not happening in Chicago, and actually I'm glad it's not happening in Chicago because I don't want these people to have their lives ruined because they are trying to protest. However, at the same time, if you are there to interfere and impede, I mean, that's what's going to happen, people. And we know that the federal agents, they don't want to arrest these people. We just covered it in Portland a few days ago. They want to protect the right. The federal agents want to protect the right of these protesters to protest, but they have no choice. They have to arrest you. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the very near future, we start to see protesters in Chicago arrested for just stepping onto the property.
Of their official duty.
Checked out the local art scene. Heckle the fascists.
Who do you serve? Who do you protect? Who do you serve? Who do you protect?
And round it all out with a quick jam sesh.
All right, so there you go. I've never seen anything like this. Again, if you guys want to follow this person's TikTok, that's his name. If you want to go vote for him, whatever, you can do that. That's your right as an American. Want to give him some credit for watching that. I've never seen anything like this. Quite an interesting way to, campaign for whatever you're trying to do here. So there you go.
In this surveillance video from a nail salon, you see ICE officers pull up in a Jeep with lights flashing right in front of a silver Subaru. The Department of Homeland Security says the man behind the wheel is Silverio Villegas Gonzalez.
Okay, now segueing to this story. If you are unaware, for the new viewers, and make sure to please subscribe because I keep you guys updated on stories like this throughout the country. Basically what happened was Homeland Security did a targeted operation to detain this illegal immigrant. And he was an illegal immigrant. But the question that Illinois officials have, you have activist groups, some protesters, they are questioning the legitimacy of the Homeland Security report. Does this man have an actual criminal history? Was he a bad driver? Things like that. We're going to dig into it, but that's the basics of the story.
An Illinois congressman wants video released of the deadly shooting involving an ICE officer. It happened in Franklin Park on Friday. ICE says a man resisted arrest and tried to drive into officers, hitting and dragging an officer as he tried to get away from the scene. The officer shot and killed Silverio Villegas Gonzalez. Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia says all video of the incident should be released.
We want to know everything about what occurred and for all evidence to be put forward publicly so that the public can make its own conclusions.
And look, I actually agree. I think it is very important in today's current administration and political climate, we should have the body cam footage. In fact, almost every single time ever, we do get body cam footage. Now, if you are unaware why so many people are asking for the footage, I'll show you that in a second. Let this congressman finish what he has to say. You'll see in a second.
But this was totally preventable, unnecessary, and most tragic.
We have reached out to ICE for comment and to see if the officers involved were wearing cameras, but have not heard back.
Okay, so here's the footage. And by the way, my disclaimer, if you're watching this and thinking I am discrediting the federal agents, that's not what's going on here. This is actually a continuation of a report where I actually talked about this story within minutes of it happening. I'm just showing you guys this story has developed into doubt, and I think Homeland Security, they are really good at providing the facts and the evidence. And I'm sure we will see that in the very near future as somebody who covers Homeland Security. Now, here's the footage and here's why people are questioning everything. It's not as clear as what you think it might be.
Surveillance video from this morning shows two ICE agents conducting a vehicle stop. The agents surround the silver car. The driver reverses the vehicle. The officer on the passenger side.
Okay, so off the bat, for anyone who's ever watched any police body cam footage, I don't think you even have to be an expert. This alone could end in the result of lethal force. Now, it's never always a good thing to do that, but again, when you watch what the police have to do in these body cam footage or what the escalation has to be, the use of a vehicle against a federal officer or Metro Police, it doesn't matter, this is already crossing the line. So this footage is enough already, most likely, to protect those officers in general. But let's continue.
It can be seen pointing his weapon as the driver attempts to flee the scene. As the car drives away, the agent on the driver's side can no longer be seen in this video. In a different surveillance video, 2 gunshots can be heard as the vehicle drives away. In a statement, DHS said the driver, Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, struck one of the officers and dragged them as he drove away. That officer then fired his weapon, hitting Villegas Gonzalez.
Now, just to show you guys, when you go back here, here's the footage they're talking about. So right here, just because how the camera is placed on this building, when you move forward, again, you can't see what's on the other side clearly. But again, people still want to see the body cam footage, and people always want things to be very black and white, especially in circumstances like this. But I do want to point out, I have no problem in calling out Homeland Security if they went way too far. I've actually done it before on my channel. This alone of reversing during a traffic stop is already, like, really, we are starting to cross the line just a little bit, even for things outside of deportation operations. So let's move forward.
Communities to be in this fear continuously.
The shooting sparked outrage among immigration advocates and local leaders.
It is wrong, it is unconstitutional, and it is straight up racism.
A DHS spokesperson said the ICE agent followed his training, used appropriate force, and properly enforced the law to protect the public and law enforcement.
And again, these agents are under 24-hour surveillance by advocacy groups and even within their own people. In Portland, I have covered federal agents where they get in trouble for trolling the protesters. Federal agents were using a Trump voice to make the protesters laugh or confuse them. They got in trouble for that. You don't hear that anymore. So these agents, they do get in trouble internally as well. But I also do want to say this is a very rare event, so I'm not surprised that protesters, advocacy groups, and lawmakers, I understand why they are upset. I mean, we don't see the use of lethal force almost ever in these operations.
Officer sustained multiple injuries and is now in stable condition. Villegas Gonzalez was pronounced dead at the hospital. According to ICE, he entered the U.S. illegally and had a history of traffic violations. ICE presence in the
And according to the lawyer and some legal team overseeing this, they are claiming that's all fake, by the way.
Community created tension between protesters and agents outside of a migrant processing center near Chicago. Earlier today, we were with ICE agents as they attempted to carry out arrest. They were led by Marcus Charles, the head of the agency's deportation branch. How long can we expect the operation to last here in Chicago?
I'm not going to go into time. We're going to do what we need to do to get as many of these criminal illegal aliens off the streets.
Leave your comments down below. How long do you think this is going to last? I think indefinitely, or until Donald Trump is not in office anymore. Again, we're talking about a massive budget for the entire organization, and it's not only ICE. Homeland Security and other federal agents all working together, and Chicago has always been on the radar, a hot spot for Donald Trump's team to want to go in there and to do these deportations.
And to protect the public.
Tensions are running high here over President Trump's escalating crackdown on illegal immigration. Internal data obtained by CBS News shows ICE this week surpassed 200,000 arrests since the president took office.
Yeah, again, I really do think people are undervaluing or underplaying what's happening in Chicago right now. Obviously, as I make this video, we have the Charlie Kirk situation and some other things going on, even overseas. But in Chicago, I will keep you guys updated because I am seeing this every single day. Protesters are getting motivated, advocacy groups are getting motivated, and unfortunately, I see Chicago turning into a Portland and Los Angeles. Now, a lot of this could be simmered down. We could have a little ease of tension if the police work with the federal agents to try and calm the protesters down. Otherwise, federal agents, they have no choice but to use force against the protesters if they cross the line. So anyway, again, like I always say on my channel, I do pray for peace. I am an advocate for peace, and I do hope we all come together, regardless of who you vote for or whose side you're on. Thank you guys so much for being here. God bless, and we'll see you all later.